Okay, we're in.
Okay, we're in for part 2. And so why don't we have a round from everybody to, what do you think, what you got?
Alrighty. Like about is this about the values that we just chose?
Yeah. How about this? Why don't you start, and why don't you give a sort of impression of sustainability at research, and then we'll just go around and have each of you sort of just brainstorm what comes to you in terms of what do you think it means to have that value at that particular function.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so with research, like with what we're doing, we can ask ourselves, is it sustainable? As we're like looking into different options in the field. Yeah.
I see with research and sustainability, like maybe like being aware of like too much time researching and like so much time that is becoming not sustainable. Also like methods of research, like that make sure that our research is thorough and is valuable and is sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody like wants
just
to
a question. Do you want us to speak just to this level 3 of research, or also speak into the other part that it represents in the field?
You know, they're kind of together. Research fields like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that fits into that field part as well. Like when we're out there, like, is this a sustainable practice that we're doing in harvesting, wild crafting in this area? Am I gonna over-harvest, in this field? So looking at the field we're in to really look at the impact of that field. Yeah, it's gonna be like a long time thing we're doing. It's in the lifetime cycle. So like sustainability in the lifetime cycle is pretty awesome. Yeah, so we gotta look at it really multi-dimensional. Who wants to go for infrastructure? Me! All right.
For infrastructure, we got focus. Or focus.
All right, infrastructure. Oh yeah, we got focus. Yeah, I guess so. That's what we're finding, that having an objective clearly and allow us to reach where we're going. I wonder with what it aligns. Resource, being focused. For me, the one that, I don't know if I can skip to this one, but the one that really resonated with me was commitment with operations. When I saw those two together, it really gave me a sense of just being committed to what we're creating on a daily basis, and it relates with the daily activities too. So almost being commitment, okay, how we're gonna operate as a group on a weekly basis, and then being committed to the activities we create, either in a monthly cycle or in a weekly cycle or in a daily cycle. Finding that commitment to operations. For me.
Yeah, for me, focus on infrastructure. When I wrote the objectivity, it was like more like being like having a focus, like having an objective. Yeah, like having I guess a purpose for the infrastructure.
Oh, I see.
Having like focused infrastructure, and also because it's with resources, it's like your infrastructure, like a focused use of the resources, like like using it like used to like focus.
So it's not wasted.
Yeah, so it's not wasted.
Yeah, like even if you've got a bunch of experiments going on, like kombucha, you gotta focus on it and give it the attention.
Build more like that infrastructure and like resources. Like what can we do? Oh, we want to build a little cabin, or I don't know, use the book to build it, like really knowing instead of just like, I don't know.
Maybe for the projects.
Yeah, there. Cool.
Then we have on number 3 we have gentleness. On learning we have gentleness.
So I could speak to that. Like I've been learning music, and I'm a before beginner in it, and I just have to be really gentle with myself. So I don't, hit my head on the keyboard like Guy Smiley when he's trying to learn piano. So being really gentle and just as we're learning, and teaching as well.
Where does gentle?
Learning.
Because we are creatures of being busy and rushed, and we forget everything has its own timing. And learning can't be rushed. No matter how hard you push it, nothing's gonna happen. So gentleness feels good in that one for me too.
Yeah, gentleness for learning.
Yeah, it feels really good.
So Diego already mentioned this one. It's on operations. It's a commitment. Yeah.
I think we've been using the word showing up, and it feels like they relate.
Yeah.
Commitment is showing up.
Being there. And it also brings like this other keyword that's coming up is trust. Like for that operation to be trustful and trustworthy, like and the commitment, being committed in these operations, like it brings the trust for all of us to trust that this thing it can actually move and it's sustainable and we can commit to it.
And then activities with our daily cycle, like we've been in our calendar schedule, just trying to focus on the children and having these activities daily. So just committing to that. Feels good there. A commitment is
Operations.
operations, activities, because we're like operations activities.
Yeah.
Like really, it's in those 2 ways. It's more clear. Bigger picture.
Okay. On creativity.
So creativity, product making, you have organization.
Organization.
And that is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, last night I felt like I started getting organized in my storage unit and with my supplies, and I have so many, and I have so many things I can make, but it takes being organized first, and I already I'm feeling like making medicine, it has to be organized. And when Simon went off with the 2 on his feet, I had to go check that it was meant to be, and it was love and organization. Okay. So I feel really good about having an organization. Then you can just let your creative thing go. Yeah.
Wow, without organization. Wow.
Organization.
Yeah, I see, for example, coming from a creative point of view, like an artist, like painting, and like the creative, like just has like this espresso of explosive creative energy, and like she's like, I gotta paint it because this is what's coming right now. So it's like after doing the creative person, after doing that for a while, like you realize like, oh, this can be organized too. Like it's not just like an explosion of the moment, but you can wait for that energy to come and already have a plan for it. How you're gonna invest that energy.
The project is waiting, like it's there.
Yeah, like organizing the creative energy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like, when it hits, I'm like, oh, where are those metallic paints for that book I was working on? If I'm organized and have it like ready to go when I'm having the burst.
It's ready, the space waiting for you.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. I feel that.
Yeah, at first it felt really practical to have in such a magical sector of creativity, but I like it. All right, so next we have synergy and relationships, and we got passion, and that was the one that jumped out before we could even pull it out. So
Yeah, that one, like it feels amazing because like it talks about like the relationships that we have, that to be passionate, like there should be passion there in those, to be passionate about all the relationships that we have with ourselves, in between ourselves, and with the other community that we're doing, with Elijah, with our neighbors, with the garden, with anything that we're doing, like having that relationship, and it almost feels like this passion, it synergizes the relationship. So it's pretty awesome that you fell in there.
It feels like a tool we can utilize to go over hurdles that like will block synergy or block relating or block flow.
Oh, I see. Using that passion to move that.
Like, remember why you're doing all this, like the passion of the Christ or something like that. What was his drive? You know, it just came up, but like the passion of a person like Joan of Arc or whoever.
How about the passion of Serena, like having a baby?
Yeah.
Or the passion of Melissa, having a healthy family.
Yeah.
Aunts and uncles for the children. Like,
It's like
this is my passion.
It's like, wait a second. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, we're sort of over our time, but
Okay.
I'd like to finish this off. So could you quickly do the last 4?
The last 4
Accountability services.
services, and yeah, we got accountability with that one, and accountability with services.
Yeah. So I feel, yeah,
Wow, yeah, like almost like being accountable for those services that we're providing. I don't know how it fits.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a big picture.
And then what is it? Services and paths. Accountability. Oh, almost like a map making. It's almost like a map making because it's like it's with the same as paths. So accountability is like I'm keeping track of the paths that I went through and the services that we provided, and like being accountable to those services that we provided. So it's almost talking to the aspect that Elijah mentioned of recording our process of what we're doing, and like that's gonna use like an accountability.
Accounting what we've done. I see.
We're seeing these paths that we're crossing that are gonna create new paths. Where it's almost like this is the service that we're doing right now. This is the service that we're doing.
Yeah, keeping accountable.
So accountability of the service, like almost like recording that process.
Nice. I feel it also relates with calendar when you mentioned map. It's almost like having a place where we can see what's coming up in the future too. Being a kind of what we did, where we were, and where we're going almost. Making it.
Now we are on marketing. We got inspiration. Inspiration in marketing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because before that we
I like
had
that.
creativity, possibility, and love.
That's strategies. Inspiration strategies.
All right, so we just pray for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the inspiration of creating. Yeah.
Inspiration.
Yeah. And for
And then
number 9,
the final one.
we have stewardship and patience. Patience. And yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah.
We got patience and timelessness too now. Like Captain
Yeah,
Zeke has that.
yeah.
So.
That one resonated really strongly with me when I heard it. How there's stewardship and being patient. It almost gave me the feeling of you want to protect the land. That's why I like the word observant with it as well. It's really being patient with the land and being in it and observing what it is before saying, hey, I'm here to be the steward and protect it because I'm the one, taking care. It's like, who am I to say that? Have I been here for long enough? Yeah. Am I truly steward?
I feel this exact same thing in our personal relationships.
Oh, really? Yeah.
To observe and to hold space for you to be you instead of saying like,
This is
you
who
should be
Diego
like
should
this.
be.
This is how I think you should be. Like those same kind of patterns.
We made it.
Well, we still. I got a little bit on marketing and inspiration. It's almost like creating inspiration is gonna be what inspire. Like marketing is gonna be something for inspiring
others and what inspires us.
Like inspires others. Inspiration. And then in communication, just to close it up, communications, observation. We got observation and communication.
I can speak to this one. Yeah, I feel like before I can communicate clearly or honestly, I have to slow down and watch what's happening inside so I can actually know what's coming out and what's being communicated through my words and through my body. Yeah, so that they tie together very nicely for me. And we have the word clarity that's been coming up a lot with communication, and this feels like the fundamental step to clarity.
Wow, that's powerful, Melissa. Yeah, being observant of what's coming up before you speak it, to have a clever communication. Wow.
Okay, well that's fantastic. That's the beginning of you integrating. So I'm going to give you a fun assignment, and I would like you guys together to build a shrine.
A shrine.
A shrine where you find a symbol for each value, and you make a nice Enneagram kind of beneath it, and put the symbols on to represent. This is to help your memory too, because you need to memorize these. And to, what sustainability research, it may be a nail, it might be a light bulb, it might be whatever you guys decide to be the symbol. And so then you're going to make this shrine that is going to be your sort of power place for the beginning of your symbolic connection to this map. Okay, that's assignment number one. Assignment number two is you have two sort of choices. There's a primary tetrahedron between the 3, 6, and 9 and the 0 point in the middle. There's like a captain, a first officer, and a diplomatic officer, and a communication officer in the middle. So the 9 is the captain, the 3 is the first officer, and the 6 is the diplomatic officer. So the diplomatic officer is dealing with all the relationships. The first officer is training all the jobs, and the captain is stewarding the agreements. And then in the center is the communication officer, who's, making sure facilitation of all the conversations is taking place. So you can choose amongst yourselves and you're looking where you fit, like what is your natural fit, where your natural gifts fit. But then you're also looking as a team, how do you guys configure? Now that's one suggestion. Another suggestion is you look at all 10 spots, and then each of you choose the spot that you really feel connected to, again, with your gift. Like where here would you want to go? Because you might not want to be in that central tetrad, but since you're a starting team, and this is the beginning, you're the core team. Now, at some point, you're going to fill in the other spots with other people, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to train them to learn how to use this operating system.
Could I ask you, Elijah, to tell me again, like the 9 is the captain?
The 9 is the captain, the 3 is the first officer, the 6 is the diplomatic officer.
What's the 9? What's the 6?
6 is the diplomatic officer.
And then the middle, communication?
Yeah.
Would you like a drink, Simon?
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's kind of like it connects into Star Trek, connects into that sort of lineage.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point you may want to go tribal chief and shaman and other languaging, but for now we're sort of using Star Trek.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you got your assignment. Congratulations, you just created your first synergy map. And it's a very powerful map, because what you're doing now is this is the first time you're creating a shared value system. So all your energies now are coming together through agreement to create a field of realization connected to your intention to build the community. So this is going to raise, again, the higher level vibes and synchronicities. And perhaps, what can happen is, the higher energy will produce, will go through you, and then at times it brings out your shadow. It brings things up, which, because you're going outside your comfort zone and you're being, you know, you're rising in vibration. And so any old patterns that are not going to fit with that vision and those values are going to come to your attention. And then what you need is, and I'm sending you these cards, is to really look at your conscious communication, and there's a healing conversation. And that's like if someone's going into trauma, someone's feeling bad, they need to express it. Just sit there and listen. You know, don't give feedback, don't try to interrupt, don't tell a story. Sit there, give attention, and that's what that person needs. They need attention. There's a clearing convo. You get into a fight, you're a little bit off, something happens, and you say, hey, I'd like to have a clearing with you. And you say, this is what happened. The other person says what happened. And as soon as both feel like they've been heard, it's cleared, right? You don't got to do it. But if you never bring it up and you're afraid to bring it up, it's kept in the background, right? It's kept in the darkness, and we don't want that. We just want to, you know, if something's coming up, be honest and be clear. Say what it is and let the other person hear it, and then say your piece. And boy, if you can master those two conversations, the clearing and the healing, there's also the appreciation convo. You know, I greatly appreciate that you guys are participating in this, and that we've come this far and you didn't go away. And now, you know, we're entering into a new stage. There's, I think, synergizing convo, synchronizing convo, grieving. There's 8 conversations. So I'm sending you the conversation cards, and that's the beginning of starting to get some more tools in terms of how you can help to communicate with each other. So thank you for staying this long, and thank you for reaching attainment. You guys are doing great, and I love you, and I will see you next week.
Thank you, Elijah.
Oh yeah.
And
Over.
we'll see that chart next week, because you pulled up a chart. We didn't quite get to it, but
Right.
this curious mind of mine now is like, oh, but we'll see it next week.
Yeah. We were thinking also time-wise, Elijah, would it work for you meeting a little bit later today? Perhaps, or
It depends. I mean, I've got meeting after, I have meetings before. I like the same time. Like, it seems to work once we have the time. Because as soon as we invest it, things go off.
I see.
Okay.
So we're feeling into
We'll send a
maybe
message about
around
it.
5.
Okay.
Okay, see you guys.
Thank you. Bye.